Uh, I think it's who awakens to what, or what awakens to who, something like that.
Exactly.
It started a while ago with another group. Remember that group, Mike?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I don't remember
Awake,
the name. It's
Awake
on mem
Now, or something. Awake Now.
Yeah.
Couldn't believe they let me keep going for a while, for a
They
year.
had you for a year, Paul.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Well, listen, if you have any questions about the topic, non-duality is, I'm just sharing from how I see it, which is, or how it's being seen. It's an invitation to a party that you already are at, so to speak. Yes? So it's tricky because we're used to time and space, and we're used to hearing something and then starting to either move away from it or moving towards it. But in this case, you're it, yeah, before any movement starts. Which, when I first heard it, I was introduced to, actually, it was weird. I went to a park in Berkeley to listen to this lady from Eastern Europe. She didn't speak loud. I didn't hear anything she said really, but just there was a feeling I liked. So the next week, the meeting got upgraded and it was in someone's house, and I still couldn't hear that well. And but it didn't matter. It started a ball rolling, and I ended up reading a book by a guy named Ramesh Balsekar called "Who Cares?" And I had that German Shepherd effect quite a lot, where my head would just like when my dog's trying to understand something. Yeah, and that was quite novel, really, for me, in a sense. And it stopped me, and it actually initiated something I was familiar with in AA, which is a pause, a pause. My head would stop like a number of times during the reading, and then I would just put it down and just sit with what had occurred. It motivated me so much that I went to India because the guy who wrote the book was like 85 at the time, and I felt like I wanted to check him out. It was like a strong impulse, and I had been freed somewhat with recovery, so I could go to India. So I went there, and I went to see him at his apartment, and that started the ball rolling, really. And I would hear things, and it was not like anything else because it put an end to stuff where a lot of times something maybe slows something down and then it speeds something else up. This put an end to things, yeah. You would just sit there like without your clothes on, so to speak. It was like you'd be nabbed or caught. And and it was definitely triggering a lot of accumulated knowledge that hadn't been put to any use. Yeah. And then it was put to great use. So all the lessons, all the learning you had already been through. So this was sort of your first day at school is graduation day. Yeah. It was really cool because you had fulfilled all the lessons and everything already. And it just the dominoes kept falling. Uh, and I was in a position at that time when I got back, I had the privilege of leading a fourth step workshop thing in San Francisco for many years, like started in 1991 at a place called the Dry Dock in San Francisco. It was a place that was managed by people, uh, but they had meetings there every day, AA meetings, maybe Food Anonymous meetings, stuff like that. And there was a little refuge. You could just pull over and go there, get a candy bar, have a coffee or something. So every Monday night, I was there leading these workshops, and the information that was flooding in, I mean, it was like new water filling an old pond. So recovery was the pond, and it was like new water. like fresh water coming into the pond. And I was just seeing things differently, left and right. And at first, the people, we would do the fourth step workshop. If you know anything about the program of recovery, the first action step is a fourth step, and it's an inventory. And you're meant to take an inventory. Uh, it's presented in different ways, but the way I came to see it was uh, you're going to take on an inventory of the common manifestations of some foreign agent called self that has defeated us through those manifestations. Yeah. So resentment, fear, and looking at the motivation to harm people in the pursuit of what you wanted. Yeah. The selfishness and the self-centeredness and that self-will. So, and we would do a list and people would write, yeah. And but after I started hearing this message of non-duality, the meaning changed and it turned into like satsang, really. And people, after a few weeks, realized they didn't need to bring a pen or paper, and then it was just going off, yeah. So the non-duality turned like the water on somewhere. It was really incredible. And then the weird thing with that, as the action figure, that led us to put out the information, and then people from outside of recovery got in touch with me. And then I was introduced to a lot of different spiritual groups. And then you could see addiction taking the route of spirituality, which was amazing. You could see you could see that mental obsession with this idea of self really getting fertilized by spirituality. It was incredible, yeah. And then uh, I just started getting asked to go to these places, and then it just uh, turned into what we're doing now. Yeah. So I have the pleasure of being able to. Uh, we hold two recovery meetings and three meetings on this topic of non-duality because uh, that's what brought a lot of stuff to an end was the message of non-duality. And but again, in this world of an action figure, just like most people have to stop using to get sober, I mean, for recovery, in this case, recovery of the action figure from addiction had happened first, and then the non-duality sort of was allowed to be noticed after. And I don't see non-duality as a path of illumination, but I do see that it will illuminate whatever path you're on. And in this life, this path I've been on is recovery, yes, for 38 years. So it has brought a lot of light to it and really galvanized the suspicion that what has defeated me was foreign to me. And it's even farther than that, but it's a good imagery. When you see something that has defeated you and see it as not you, the possibility of being free from it becomes available. Yeah. Where in most recoveries, we're bound to the idea of trying to be free as self. Yeah. The non-duality loosened a screw, and I looked at it and I saw it was being free from self by seeing that I'm not that. Yeah. Yeah. And here we are. So, mm. So for some people who are new here, I'll just describe it simply. Just through observation, there was a realization that, let's say, there's something that's in vogue now called mindfulness. So people practice mindfulness and they try to be aware of everything, but it starts in time. And so let's say they're trying to be aware and they fall down and they hit their knee and they're fuck it. And they're like something, there's a reaction that they were not aware of. It came before they became aware, so to speak. Yeah. So it became obvious to me that there's activities that are going before my ability to recognize. Yeah. Because I start at a certain part of at a certain point in time, and there's stuff happening before that point. Yeah. So when you wake up sometimes in the morning, there's a feeling of awakeness, and then there's almost as if you put on the suit of Paul. Yeah. You can see the head grab the familiar room and yes, and look at this, and it it remembers itself. But you were awake before the remembering happened, yeah, and there was no one there. So you get these are, to me, are free samples. And I feel with the message of non-duality, the message of non-dualities allows the most that you can get out of the free samples. I really do. The free sample goes a super long way if you have the understanding of non-duality. So I recognized something was going on in the head, and it became obvious that there's a moment where there's a contact. We call it conscious contact in AA. I don't, they have a different meaning to it than I have. What it means to me is the triggering of the event here, conscious contact. So not Paul, but consciousness. Yeah. So consciousness is in contact. And after that happens, Paul is implied. Yeah. So when the conscious contact happens, there's a there's an engagement, seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, touching, thinking, whatever you want to, there's a number of them. And there's the head arises after the conscious contact. So there's always the seeing before the seer, but the way the head lives is the seer is before the seeing. It's just very obvious. Yeah. Yeah. It's nice to realize because the whole idea you have of the race that's being run is already rigged. It's a rigged race. Yes, it's yeah. So conscious contact, seeing, let's just use the senses, seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, touching. So happens. The head arises, yeah, and it claims it. So whatever seeing or hearing or feeling or tasting or touching or thinking is occurring, it now claims it and makes up a thinker, a hearer, a feeler, a taster, a toucher. Yeah. Out of its ass, really, out of empty sky. It claims the seeing to imply there's a seer. Yeah, just like that. And then suddenly, like when you see babies, you see there's no seer in the baby. Yeah, it's just triggering out, and everyone's very attracted to it because there's nobody home, really. It's just wow, da, 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 da. Yeah, and in a sense where there's a missing, a longing for that as a seeming grown up, because there's Paul now. Yeah, Paul the seer. And the emphasis of the head is always to accentuate the Paul at the expense of the living. Yeah. So the seeing, the hearing, the feeling, the tasting, the touching, the smelling, the thinking, the acting becomes a vehicle to reinforce the idea of being the actor, the thinker, the feeler, the taster, the toucher. So you see this, and I'd say it's called an act of claiming. Yeah. Now the claiming, this is the tricky thing. When people hear non-duality, the head will just insinuate itself into it. So now it will recognize there's claiming, but it'll say it's the claimer. This is so claiming is just like seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, touching. There is no claimer. There's just claiming. Yeah. So when people hear non-duality, the head will trip over that one. They say, okay, now I've got more responsibility. I'm fucking claiming all the seeing, hearing, feeling. No, you're not. There's no you that's claiming. There's the claiming implying there's a you. Yeah, this is beautiful. Because if you have the after put before the before, uh, yeah, you have to find that out. So there's this claiming. So I saw this claiming, and I remember a book I read. I didn't read the whole thing really, but it was a book by a guy named Trungpa Rinpoche, this famous guy. He had trouble with alcoholism. He was a Tibetan Lama, and that surprised a lot of people. He was also a drunk, yeah. And he wrote a book, Cutting Through Spiritual Materialism, which was popular in the, I think, the 70s or something. And the first page, if I remember somewhat correctly, he says, before you start reading this whole book, he says, I want you to really get this one thing. Yeah. Whatever is going on, the ego is claiming it. Yeah. And then he proceeded the book. But he said basically the whole point was really to see this, and he called it cutting through spiritual materialism. And that thing stuck with me. And so you see that, and so now you see there's a mental activity that's before it's before that where you can't reach. Yeah, because uh, once you get started, you are already started. Yeah, like that song. Once you get started, but you've already started. There's a sense of Paul already. That means you are arising after the claiming. Yeah, after the claiming. And you don't have an ability to reach before the claiming. Yeah. In other words, self can't get out of self. Well, Paul can't get out of Paul. Yeah. The great news is you're not in Paul, which is fantastic. But Paul can't get out of Paul. So if you see this mental process of claiming, and that every verb that's noted is implied or is used to imply the noun, and then you start at Zoe, let's say, not before Zoe, and then Zoe is moved to get some relief because there's something bothering her or she's feeling something is absent or missing. Yeah. And of course, that's true in a sense, but how she's going to be directed isn't clear, let's say. So now Zoe decides to do stuff like meditation and stuff, okay? So now there's a reaction to that first process, but the second process of, let's say, meditation is now infected with the first process. So before you even land on the meditation cushion, the head has you as a meditator. You're already now you are now been given another noun called meditator. So now every time there's meditation, the head is using that to reinforce the mistaken idea of being the meditator. How are you going to meditate yourself out of that? Yeah. So that first process affects the other processes that come up to really deal with the first process. Yes. The reason why there's playing God is because self uh, believes that the way things are don't have to be that way on the tiniest little level. Like that fork should have been closer to the plate. Yeah. It was a little too far from the plate. It upset my whole dinner and shit like this. So this head gets insane. And so now not knowing it, what all your spiritual practices themselves are reinforcing this noun of Paul. Yeah. How can they destroy it? And don't yell at me because I didn't say that. Ramana Maharshi said it, the godfather of non-duality. He says the whole thing that's going on is there's a non-existent thing, the body, that the head mistakes as being the existent thing. When the head gets triggered by, let's say, existence or consciousness, the head makes a huge mistake right off the bat. It believes the thing it finds itself in is what's conscious. Yeah. So now Paul, as a body, is conscious. That's not true. The body is a non-existent thing. Yeah. It's left behind every time life seems to leave, let's say, Annette. someone's going to have to pick up Annette's body because Annette didn't go on the trip. Yeah. It was a netting for 80 years, but when that final move of the Exodus, the body's left behind. You cremate it, burn it, fucking bury it. Yeah. But basically, so, and someone who's been calling the person the body for 70 years, as soon as they see the body, they realize that wasn't the person. Yeah. Someone like their their aunt or uncle for 70 years, you were thinking, oh, there's Uncle Fred or Aunt whatever. But then as soon as you see the body, you realize Uncle Fred split. Yeah. And and they're not all on basic economy where they don't can't even take a carry-on. You would think the body would go with them, but it doesn't because it is what? A non-existent thing. Then what's existing? Well, that's the $24 question. What's existing? So the head says the thing is. And so now we become established as an existent thing. And we get agitated in this and that and that and this. And we have a lot of fucking opinions and judgments. And we set out on a course to take care of the existent thing. And sometimes the existing thing that's trying to take care of itself wants salvation as the existent thing, and it gets into spirituality, and it tries to become a very, very much better existent thing, and it wants to transcend the world, but it wants to transcend the world and still be a thing, as if it goes to heaven, there's going to be an 18-hole golf course that it can play and stuff. Yeah. But in fact, the thing ain't going anywhere. It's a non-existent thing. So so he says, hey, this non-existent thing is taken to be an existent thing. Who's taking it to be an existent thing? The head. Yeah. Doing that, the head wants to get salvation, and the mistake is the salvation is completely based on not being a thing, and now it wants to get salvation as a thing. And it sets off on this course that's actually keeps reinforcing this little mistake, not solving it. Yes. And Ramana said that, if this is the case, your spiritual practices themselves are reinforcing the non-existent thing. How can they exist? How can they destroy it? Yes, exactly. So when you hear that, it and if you were standing up, you'll probably be sit down. You'll sit down. And the awakening is going to occur because the knowing is already there. It just needs to be triggered. Yet when the head is dominating, the head, there is a knowing that the head does not want to know. So the knowing that the head does not want to know, if the head is emphasized, you will live a life without knowing it. Yeah. Even though the unsuspected resource is constantly resourcing, it's right where you are at all times, you will live as if it does not exist because you are living as you existing, which is not true. So now the real existence is seen as almost non-existent. Yeah. And then we talked about earlier, James Lebowski says he's a very sensitive person, but he doesn't give a shit about another person. So how sensitive is he? Yes. I'm very sensitive, but you walk all over somebody else. So you're not sensitive. You're fucking fragile. You want it your way. That's how the head is. It's completely self-centered and it looks at how things pertain to it. Yeah. Its sensitivity extends about a foot or two away from the non-existent thing. So I don't see how you're gonna change the process that injects itself into every other process. I just don't. So I just came to a point. Non-duality brought me to a last answer, and that answer was taking away the need for any other answer. And I've been floating on that wave for 20 something years, and it has illuminated without trying to turn on a switch or anything like that, it has illuminated quite a lot about what I thought was my condition or the condition. Yeah. And in that old song, I'm just checking in to see what condition my condition is in. The biggest condition is the condition that thinks it's seeing, looking into the other conditions. The head that thinks it knows the head is a huge fucking condition. Yeah. So, um, non-duality put an end to stuff like, just like AA put an end to drinking and using, non-duality put an end to seeking, really, which was freaking awesome. Yeah. And instead of seeing be still as a long, long off destination, it's just a condition you're actually in right now. The head is in a stormy condition, but you're not. Yes, yes. So if you watch your head, it talks as if it's you. So it says it's afraid, and then you mimic like you're afraid. Yeah. And when it says my resentment, it's true. It's resentment, but you say it's your resentment. That's a mistake. Yeah. It can be corrected easily. Stop calling resentments yours, and you'll see them in a different light. Yeah. Stop calling self yourself, and you'll see it in a much different light. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. So here we are, 2026, rolling along, singing our song. Nothing's changed over in years because something told me, if you don't see this manufactured self-centered point, you're looking from it. And if you're looking from it, you're never going to see it. You're never going to see it. You'll be looking for the rest of your life and you'll never see it. But if you can see where you used to look from, it's very, very illuminating. Yeah. And I believe non-duality actually brings you to your starting point, and it's not the moment you were born. Yes. You have a previous starting point. Yeah. So there we are. Nice day. You can't say any more. I mean, I wish there was like staircases to heaven. Yeah, and we could have 89 steps and spend a lot of time in each step. But in fact, you're on the ground level. You're already here. Yeah. So looking for it doesn't work except for failing. And this is the beauty of it, because many of us that are here have looked for spirituality quite a lot. And maybe we've took it after we blamed someone else, we really sat down and blamed ourselves for not doing enough, for not praying enough, for not meditating enough. But in fact, you miss the real value of it. Spirituality is meant to fail because you are what you're looking for. It's meant to fail. That's its value. Yeah. You'll get so tired of looking, you'll stop, and at that moment, you'll see that you are and have been and always will be that which you've been looking for. You'll have a hit. It'll inform you, and it'll just wash away tons of moments and things. Yeah. And then you'll travel lighter the rest of your days. Doesn't mean everything goes great. Doesn't mean goes bad. It means everything goes. Yeah. Yet what you are doesn't. Yeah. So when it says this too shall pass, it's not talking about you. Yeah. Everything that's not what you are or not what we are, everything passes, but we don't. Yeah. Yeah. So the non-existent thing the hand that's moving that glove, the hand will remove itself, and then the glove will just be a glove. Yes. But it's a nice idea to know it now. Yeah. To recognize the hand in the glove doesn't mean the hand will come out. It doesn't hate the glove. It doesn't burn the glove. It just wakes up and realizes I find myself in a glove, but that doesn't make me a glove. Yeah. My soul origin is hand, and I'm not a glove. No matter how many years I'm in a glove, doesn't make me a glove. It's pretty good, eh? Yeah. So we get together just to share the news. It's a great bit of news because right now, without any requirements met, without any conditions controlled, you are right now what you are. Yes? No need for an addition. There can't be a subtraction. You're not a thing. Yes? You don't grow, let's say, a spiritual head on a thing. Yeah. Yeah. So, all right, let's open up the meeting. Alan Olson, nice to see you, as always. It gives you a great relief. You can really enjoy Sicily if you're not looking for that much there. Really, you can. You go to a place, you don't put an exorbitant demand on it, and you have a fucking nice time. Because Italy can't do it for you. All the shit can't do it for you. Yeah. I feel really liberation, the true liberation is from the need to be liberated. Yeah. You see, you're not that which needs to be liberated. That's what happened. And so you are relieved of its need to be liberated because that fucking thing in the head, that activity needs to be liberated. But you can be liberated from that need by seeing you're not that. Yes? Yeah. And now you'll have a constant reminder because everything you can see, whatever can be perceived, cannot be that which is perceiving. It's a pretty good reminder because everything you can see as a thing ain't it. And then you could apply it as to this thing that thinks it's the seer of every other thing. You apply it to this thing and you're not this. Yeah. Yet you still is. You still are. Yeah. Yeah. You know how the head has always been worried about what ego death or whatever. You don't have to worry. It never was born. It's just an activity, a mental activity. Yeah. It can only go on if something else is there, and it ain't that something else. Yeah. All right. Michael Stacy.
Hey, James Lebowski had his hand up for a minute. James, would you still like to come in?
Yeah, I'd like to ask my one question of the year.
Go for it.
I was actually started to read A Course in Miracles again. I haven't read it for like 10 years or something, but I invested 5 years into getting through it. And I just started rereading it and I read that part where I guess if you understand it, you don't have to read the rest of it. It says, and I was just gonna see if you would be willing to riff on it a little bit. It says nothing real can be threatened, nothing unreal exists. Therein lies the peace of God. And
Yes. Yeah.
I thought,
But this isn't something to practice. It's something to hear and let it go. It'll find its level. It'll go somewhere in you. Yeah. Like our friend uh, from Redondo, he talks about a lot of these things in books are descriptions, not prescriptions. They're not prescribing you to have to do something to get, it's a description of something readily available. Yeah. So the Course of Miracles is just talking about a fact. Nothing real can be threatened and nothing unreal can whatever. Yes? Yeah. It's a fact now. Now, here in the dreaming, facts in a sense don't matter. Yeah. Because everything is seemingly so. Everything appears to be either true or false to you. Yeah. So you're having a subjective dreaming here. But Course in Miracles is laying out certain facts and is saying, while you're going through this jungle of dreaming, and there are a lot of fake tigers that are scaring the shit out of you, maybe you can remember something. Yes, that whatever is real, yes, cannot be threatened and stuff like that. Yeah. And it's not saying you have to acquire something. It says it's already available. You're just not noticing it. Yeah. Hmm? Yeah. So that's how I see that. Yes, of course. Nothing in real can be threatened. You see that when you wake up in the morning. Yeah. Did you do anything other than wake up to see the dream as not real, the dream at night? Did you do anything other than wake up? Was that something you chose to do or was an effort? No. You woke up, and when you woke up, the dream that you seem to have been in the moment or so before that was being taken to be so real immediately is seen as unreal, as the Course of Miracles would say. Yes? And therefore, that tiger that was scaring the hell out of you in the dream doesn't scare you a bit when you wake up. Yeah? Yes. Wake up. I humbly believe we already are awake. We're just acting as if we're not. Yeah. I believe in the dreaming. This action figure represents a time loop where you act as if you're not awake. And there you go. And tons of shit happen. And basically, we're in a place of tons of rides that we're on and get off and get back on, not knowing that we're a ride itself. This is a ride. Yeah. This is a ride into a subjective realm dream. So you can have different mountain ranges than the other person can in your head because the head can make mountains out of molehills. Yeah. It can see a seeming threat that's not there, like we talk about in recovery. It says seemingly and real. Yeah. So this is dreaming, bro. And this is the facility of the dreaming. This is the ride of the dreaming, the body. Now, we believe we get off roller coasters and get on roller coasters. But in fact, we don't seem to realize we can get out or into this. Yes. We signed up and the ride goes on. So to believe that this is going to see the real cannot be threatened is pointless because it's of the unreal nature. This is of the unreal nature. Yes. Don't waste any time trying to have it understand. It cannot understand. It's above its pay scale. What's going on? It has a program and it takes itself to be the dreamt. And for it to be real, it has to see the dreaming as real. Yeah. It has to see things are real out there to be a real thing here. Yes. Why would you want to send this to college in a sense? It's not going to learn. It has a certain level, and that's that. Yeah. It can be used incredibly, and this is what we find in recovery. We're more important looking at how to be used by a different employer. Yeah. And the course would do its thing, recovery does its thing, which is, hey, perhaps there's a better way. Yeah. And they talk about a new employer. So obviously they're implying there was an old employer. Yeah. And they're basically the word employ means to use. So in this life, as an action figure, you're going to be used by some power, be it a higher power or a lower power. They define self-centeredness as a lower power. Yeah. And the higher power will be able to outshine that lower power if allowed to. Yeah. The lower power does not want anyone to know any other power other than it, so it can masquerade as the higher power. So in its little theater called James, it plays God. Yeah. Now, does all the other people listen to it? No. Maybe James is the only one that's listening to it and following its instructions. So it has a very small theater to play God in. Yes? Yeah. So you have been used by that. You, as an action figure, have been driven by that. You have landed where it takes people. Do you want that driver to continue to be the driver of you as the driven? Obviously not. Do you have any power to change that? Very little. But I'm going to make a decision and I'd like to see it happen. All right. Well, they found a way that triggers it and they present it to us as the 12-step program of recovery. You follow that and you have a spiritual awakening. You wake up to a new driver, which is the higher power. Yeah. Now you're having a life uh, presented by its view, not self's view. Yes. Yeah. It takes the same information self took. They call it the Holy Spirit in the Course of Miracles. But the Holy Spirit is active in the head. They say God is not active here. Christ is not active here. The Holy Spirit is active here in the dreaming. And what it does, it takes the same information the head is taking in that's going through the brain it's seen to be always pertaining to the body. It's now collating the same info in a different way, and you travel differently, and you travel lighter. Yes, there you go. And in that view, at times you'll have very clear glimpses that the real cannot be threatened, and the unreal is so. The greatest A great master, Ramana Maharshi, said basically there's only one requirement necessary to see the unreal from the real. Because the habit we're in is we're seeing the unreal as the real. Yeah. He is saying to see the unreal from the real, which is us, awareness. Yeah. So now you see the unreal and you don't take it to be real. That's the only requirement. Yeah. How do you do that? Just check it out. Listen to Huang Po. Whatever can be perceived cannot be that which is perceiving. What? So, yes, the thing called James that I can see is not what's perceiving through James. That thing that's perceiving has no name. The name was sort of tattooed on it after. It was henna tattooed. Yes? And it washes off when the body is over. Yeah. There's been no James or Jim or Jill or Ernie. Yeah. So you can come to peace. Even your head, even though the head is agitated, because that's its nature. This is not about changing the head. I meditated 13 hours a day to try to change the head. It could only work through a very heavy duty control. And if you threw any variable in the mix, you could flip out like that. Yeah. Because the head is naturally agitated. That's its condition. It's agitated. If you call it you, then you're not going to be at peace because it's agitated. If it says, if it gets introduced to peace, it gets worried about it. Will I have peace tomorrow? When is this going to end? Yes? Yes. This is about losing interest, like we do in recovery of self. This is not getting to be a greater self. It's losing interest in the whole project of the greater self. Yes? And truly seeing its little plans and designs as little plans and designs. Yeah. Then you just, okay, you can have a good day in Nevada. Yeah, completely. It's just, and then you don't have a blog about how great a day you have. You just have a great day, or a great day has you. And it goes like everything else goes. Yeah. Yet the only quality that stays is what we're made of, that awareness. Yeah. Yeah. It's, it actually enhances the appreciation of what comes and goes, that which doesn't come and go. It enhances the appreciation of what comes and goes. Yeah. Like the head is always putting off the next great moment into the future, and it's going to get caught with its pants down, and you're going to drop dead or something's going to happen. And while it's planning on being really great later, you'll miss the whole fucking point. So now, because of the permanence of our nature, you could really appreciate what comes and fucking goes. Like an orchid that takes months to bloom and then blooms for 3 months. And the wild thing now, Amelia has a good touch with it because I very rarely got an orchid to bloom a couple of times. I did be once was good and maybe twice, but that was rare. She's getting them, they're coming out all the time now, third or fourth time. It's awesome. Yeah. So you have a deep appreciation of what comes and goes. You do from that permanence. Yeah. Yeah. We're missing the boat while waiting for the boat. Yeah. Because we're on the boat. We're missing the boat because we're waiting for the boat and we're on the boat. Yeah. Oh, it doesn't look like I thought it would. It's never going to look like you thought it would. Thank God. Thank freaking God. If you could think about this and be correct, the thinking would be in a super elevated level, which it isn't. I can't even think where my glasses are. Probably my last words are probably going to be, "Where's the phone?" Probably pretty sure. Where's the phone? And bammo, there you go. So yes. Anyone else? So yes, beautiful. Course of Miracles, beautiful. It's a slog though to read it. It can be heavy, conceptualize. I like to distill it more. Yeah, yeah. But there's many, many things that really triggered a lot of avalanches in me in the course. And I was with some people, they were going off with it. There was a group called the Endeavor Academy in Wisconsin, and they were exhibiting a lot of energetic things like Kundalini and shit. They were crazy. They were they were super high on the Course in Miracle, really. You know, and the weird, oh, it's funny. I wasn't a real, I was on the periphery, but I went to an event they had in Wisconsin, and people from Australia, they had a large group of people that followed it from Australia. So all these people were at this event, 999, 9th, separate September 9th, 1999. Now, in their little community, they had all got themselves jacked up about the world was going to end. So they thought it was going to end 999. So many of them had lived on credit cards. They had $100,000 of credit debt, and 910 showed up. And they were in a lot of trouble. They, I hadn't taken that point seriously, so it was just another day, 910. But to them, wow, it was a crushing blow. Yeah. Yeah. The head can run wild with, yeah, it just rubs shoulder with the truth and it can do a lot of shit with it. It can, yeah, like you got to get on a airship behind sun and stuff. It can come up with a lot of stuff. Yeah, yeah. 11 dimensions. You got to hip hop over it. The head just brushes the truth and it comes up with insane freaking ideas. Yeah. But this is dog shit awareness. It's a simple awakeness. Yeah. Are you conscious of awareness, or is awareness aware of consciousness? Yeah. All right. Anyone? No?
James got me to read the Course in Miracles with him, and Yeah, I'm completely lost. Uh,
That's
Rereading pages over and over and over. At the same time, trying not to memorize, what I'm reading or just try to absorb it. I've got a little bit more of an idea from listening to you, but I'm still really, really lost.
well, that's good, man, in a way, because you're not that which is really, really lost, which is great.
Mhm,
So it's great. Part of losing it is you don't try to save it when it's lost. That's part of losing it. You don't try to save it when it's lost. You let it hang out. It's not going to kill you. It's that's this is it may feel like you're in peril, but you're not. Yeah. Yeah. It's just climbing over the front seat and getting into the back seat. Yeah. Yeah, this message is not something you get and you don't
mhm,
it's something that goes around that drive to understand and touches the knowing that already is, I feel. Yeah.
mhm.
So the point of its delivery isn't another thing to be known, but it's there to trigger the knowing that's already in place. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And the knowing that's already in place is really the big, like, yeah, with non-duality.
Mhm,
It's hit, and the see, the head mimics ringing a bell, but when the bell really rings, it has a different sound and the vibration lasts way longer. Yeah, and it piques so your interest wakes up. Yes, wow. Yeah. I love non-duality. I mean, uh, and I love how life set it up where I first got had to get sober and then was this came in the mail. I probably would
mhm.
have thrown it out with somebody just told me they sent me two shirts and a cigar, t-shirts. I was gonna thank them, but I didn't. I got the two shirts. I didn't see the cigar. So this is like the point with non-duality. The two shirts you forget and you find and you see the cigar.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
thank you. I got to go open another Zoom meeting, so
Oh,
I will
great.
see
Well,
you
thanks for
another time.
speaking with us. Yeah, you're always welcome, brother. Thank you, Rick.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, Paul, Jacob has his hand up.
Jacob.
Hey Paul, hey guys.
Oh, Jacob, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing all right. Doing all right. It's
Another
chilly
snack.
here in Kansas.
Back for
Trying
another
to stay
snack.
warm.
You're trying to stay warm. Wow.
Yeah, it's chilly where I'm at.
Where are you?
Uh, Kansas.
Oh, Kansas. Wow. We have two
Yeah.
missionaries there, Kansas.
You have what?
Two missionaries in Kansas.
Oh, really?
We have a missionary program we launched about 10 years ago, and then we forgot about it about 9 years ago, and they're still out there.
Uh,
They're still out there. And
well,
all
I'll be sure to not go looking for it.
right. What's up?
Um, well, I, I kind of wanted to, I guess, just do a brief little check-in about what's been happening here, and then just inquire into something simple. Yeah, so there's been a witnessing of the mechanics, and there's been a sort of loss of interest due to sheer exhaustion and disillusionment, right? And there's also a pursuit for recovery. Like there's an action figure doing trauma recovery, and there's emotionality, and all of these things are happening. And so there's just this dichotomy of like losing interest just because it's what's happening, and then adhering to the somewhat new routine of just recovery, and it's not necessarily new, but it's just dedication is deepening, and understanding regulation. There's sort of a process or whatever. But in all of this, what's really the most impactful for me is literally just sitting and doing nothing, just sitting and absorbing as much silence as possible, and that's, I mean that literally. And I guess I was just curious what your take on silence and stillness is in all of this.
Well, it's one of the main basis of it all. Yeah. So, yeah.
I mean, that's what keeps coming back to me. And there's the obvious urge and desire to get my hands on things, keep telling the story, regurgitate the narrative, feel the grief, and I'm allowing it to happen. It's just what's happening. There's not much resistance to that, but just that, I guess I'm still seeking clarification and validation and witnessing in front of others, and just that whole experience of more will be revealed, and I think that's just part of it. But yeah, the most relief I get out of everything that I do is literally just not doing anything, and just letting grace take over, or what, if you want to call it that. And so, that sort of that recovery and non-duality lens seems to meet right there. And yeah, that's, I guess I just wanted to have it reaffirmed in this space. So thank you for letting me
Yeah.
share that.
Well, the of would be the silence and the stuff, and the in is the action figure where you're going through steps to seemingly reclaim what wasn't lost. Yeah. And this also happens. So one is happening in time, and that's the in, and then the other is the timeless element that you can venture in and recognize when you're in the in, and it comes from the of, which is the silence and stuff. Yeah. So the action figure has some details to take care of. So that's what you're going through. Don't don't take it too seriously. And and then what you're of is that silence and stuff like that. Yeah. Two things can go on at the same time. Timelessness goes on in every moment of time. So the action figure is of time, yeah, but we're in time, I mean, but we're of the timeless. Yes. So two things actually do happen at a time, which is the timelessness and the time. And in the time, your things need to be undone to be redone. And so you're the action figures participating in that. And then the of is the of is the of is the of. Yeah. Yeah. And then one is finite and the other is infinite. So there'll be a day when recovery will be the attempt to constantly recover will be seen as a disservice, and you'll lose interest in all that. Also, you will. And so, yeah, the in and of will sort of mingle a little more. Yeah.
Well,
But
that seems to be how it's unfolding. I appreciate you, Paul.
yeah, well, that's great, man. I'm happy. I'm always happy to hear reports. It's good because, yeah, this is like in the course would say, in one level, every success is a failure, every failure is a success. So what seems to be a success in something may not be a success in the of. Yeah. Yes. So this is the weird thing. So there's two ball games going on. One's already been decided. The other has already been decided, but we don't think so. So we're watching the one scoreboard with great intensity when we already won, so to speak. Yes, that's the other side. They both can go on at the same time. Yeah, yeah. One will start getting underemphasized, like all the recovering and re-getting, and the other will get overemphasized, which it can never ever get overly emphasized. It's just, yeah, yeah. So yes, that's how I see it today. Yeah. In this thing, recovery, uh, I must be, as an action figure, there must be a slacker in there, because once I didn't need to do shit, it was great not to do it. When they said, well, you could be so much better, I didn't care really that much. I reached a certain level of okayness where it's not a necessity to become more or anything. I don't care. I don't have any opinion on what other people are doing, because their action figure has been wound up different than this action figure. So, yeah. So, yeah, some people, like, I'm wearing a Nike shirt, but I'm not into Just Do It. I found it at a thrift store. I like the color. Just do it. Give me a break. They want you to run a lot, so you have to buy a new sneaker. They want you to wear out that sole quickly, so you got to get another one. They don't want you to have one, uh, whatever it's called. What's the company? They don't want you to have one sneaker for the rest of your life. They want you to get a new one every year. Do. Ah, so, yeah. So good luck, bro, Jacob. Drop in. Tell us how you're doing. You're always find refuge here, if you did something or not. Yeah. Yeah. This is not a this is not an earned position. Yeah. 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 All right. Thank you. Anyone else? Oh, no.
No more hands.
Uh, it's a nice day today too here, Mike. Hot, a little hot. Again, yeah, it really flips me out with the weather reports where they go, it's 84, but it feels like 96. They're just, you don't have to read a book about dreaming. They just revealed it in the weather report. This is what dreaming is. The fact is it's 85 degrees, but you think it's 96. That's how real is this place? If it was real, 85 would impose itself on you, but it ain't real. So 85 can appear to feel like 96. This is insane. You don't need a 1,200 page book of dreaming. Just go to the weather report. It tells you right there. Uh, it feels like they even try to explain it now. What do we mean by it feels like? Just fucking get to the point. It's dreaming. It's not real, so it seems like it's super hot. And then when it's hot to me and not hot to Amelia, makes total sense. She says, how can you be hot? Because I'm not hot. It's all made up. It's all made up. So I can be super hot when you're super cold. Yeah. And then the basis of the whole story you want to believe is real? Come on, give me a break. You're the only real thing in the dream. You. You're as much as of the dreamt as anything dreamt. This thing is appearance. But I got a long appearance, long lasting, independent, separate entity. Where does it end up? The same place. Yeah, well, it really blows my mind, really, the weather report. I love it. I know it's 85, but it feels like it's 96. I get maybe if we put enough votes in, they would actually have to change it. All right, fuck it. It's 96. We made a vote. Let's give up all sense of fact completely. You feel like it sucks, it sucks. Yeah. You think it's great. If enough of you say it's great, it's It's seemingly great. Die Hard 11 still sucks, just like Die Hard 10, 9, 8, 7. No, it's a completely rejuvenating the franchise of Die Hards. Yeah, so I'm happy to be here, really. And it feels warm to me. Amelia always does that with me. Oh, it's not hot. I said, how can you tell? This is a subjective experience. It's very hot to me. All right, I'll see you. Hey, Michael, again, as always, thank you. Kerry, fantastic. I hope you're a man with a home amongst the volcanoes, and I hope the gal's okay from the accident.
Oh, hey, everything was yeah, it's all good. She already got a new car and insurance and life goes on. It's just like little bumps, little hiccups, you know? We've been through so much of this life. I mean, I'm grateful to have these problems.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah. It's nice having a problem in Hawaii, maybe, than let's say Kansas. Sorry, Jacob. Yeah. Ernie, as always, nice to see you, bro. Yes. Zoe, pleasure. Miak, as always, thank you. Annette, John S., Florida, pleasure. It's been a very nice road to run with you, actually walk with you, John. Pleasure. Walter, our man in the Netherlands. Alan Olsen, the man who never got it. Lebowski, thank you, yeah, for the opportunity to speak yesterday at that meeting. AG, I can't see you, but Jacob, we got Mike G in San Clemente. Nice to see you, Mike. Yeah. It's always a pleasure to get together with all of us. It's easy to forget that you don't have to remember. You thinking you know it doesn't make it. Yeah. It for being what it is doesn't need to be witnessed. It doesn't. There's no. All right. I'll see everybody. Thank you so much. Yeah. One more day away from the asylum. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm not ready for the straitjacket and jello every day. I'm holding off. Thank you.
Thanks, Paul.
Yeah.
thank you, Paul.
Thank you,
Michael.
Thanks,
thank you
Michael.
so much,
Thank you.
dude. Thank you, Michael.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks, everyone.
Really good.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
See you guys later in the week.